Apple is just sometimes way too many clicks. I use my iPad as like the device to make sure like I'm framed, right? It's just, I'm sorry, sometimes it's just too many clicks to just get to doing what you want to do. I'm impatient that way. Get the Hyper MTX on deck right now. I feel I had a pretty successful day with it today. Right now the front end is sagging a little bit, but I'm actually okay with that. The rear end is like jacked, and the front end has just the slightest amount of dip to it, which is a kind of a good thing. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about here is you can see the front here has a little bit of droop, but that's okay. That's kind of what I'm wanting and expecting from the truck. And I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of hard to tell, but when you look at what's called the ass end, because that is what it's called, it's the rear end of the car, or the rear end of the truck, you can see that it's got a rake to it, and I'm actually okay with that. I might stiffen up those springs just a touch, but I think I'm going to leave the back alone as is. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take off both battery packs, because that's what's hiding the 4 screws, I believe, that it takes to just drop out the center diff. That's the whole plan today. That's the whole plan tonight, is to literally just drop out the center diff and see what it's all about. And like I was saying, from memory, it's only supposed to be, I think, 4 screws, but there is one thing that I'm thinking right now. I'm wondering if it's in the way. So this one has an integrated, like, motor mount. Not a motor mount. It's got this new cover here. So this new cover, I think the cover is just like a snap-on or something, but I'm hoping it kind of rolls out from underneath, because this transfer case or transmission, whatever you want to call it, it's kind of like a transfer case, but this transmission or transfer case should drop down below, with the dog bones or drive shafts staying into place, because I believe from memory they are retained at the back and at the front by these circular clips that kind of like hold it into the cup. At least that's from memory. I'm not exactly positive. It's just what I'm vaguely remembering. So we're going to go ahead and pull that apart right now. I did clean this thing off too, just a little bit. I took it out for a rip, and I did kind of just smash it off outside before, gave it a couple drops before I brought it in. So battery pack should come out kind of easy. And again, maybe not. There we go. So this was only running the OVONIC packs that I've got. So the next time I run this thing, it's going to be running the 6700s. And when I run the 6700s, I am going to have to crank up the front suspension a little bit, give it a little bit of extra tension. But it's the OVONIC Rebel Series 6000 milliamp 3S 100C packs. Go to the other side. Some people have made comments that this doesn't seem like it's the Hobao quality or something like it's not like the VS2. And that's the thing, is it's not going to be the VS2. The VS2 is a different kind of animal. This one is a monster truck. The VS2 is more of a performance machine, where this one is more of a basher. So in order to get that bashability, you're not going to get like the ultra performance. You're not going to get the Carrera, GT, whatever. You're not going to get, the Murcielago, whatever the heck that is. You're not going to get the Vet. You're not going to get the Corvette. You're not going to get the Mustang. You're literally going to get the F-150 TRX kind of Raptor kind of thing. That's what this is kind of more like. This is more like having a TRX or a Raptor. Or maybe it's more like, for some people, maybe this is a base model F-150. I don't know. Maybe it's a Chevy Avalanche. I don't even know, man. What a disaster that truck was. Again, opinion based. If you've got an Avalanche, don't freak out. It's just my opinion for myself. I drive a Ford guy. Don't flip out if you own an Avalanche and you're about to have heart failure. There's some guy garage doesn't like avalanches? Hell no. All right, so again, you can see Rebel Series OVONIC 6000 3S 100C pack. Obviously, that's what's going to be in there. So again, like I was saying, from memory, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 screws on this side, 4 screws on the other side. I know I said a total of 4 screws, but that's what I meant. 8 screws. I just wasn't counting to myself right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 on the other side. And this transmission should fall out or drop down, or I'm going to have this upside down, and that way I can kind of pull it down, up, whatever. The underneath, you can see you got the cross bracing here. I am noticing something here. Noticing that there's a gap there. Wonder why that is. Huh. Check that out. My transfer case has a gap. What's the deal with that? Almost kind of looks like that screw's loose. Alright, well, we're going to see in a couple seconds. 8 screws, pop them out, and I'm actually going to use my driver too. I'm literally guessing on these lower ones, but it's going right in to where it is. So you can see, I'm going to get these 2 last. I'm going to go after the bottom ones first. Kind of good that I'm doing this. It's not that these are loose, but because they're not, they're taking a good little kick to break it free. But here we go. Last screw, there we go. I just saw it drop. So, like I was saying, all I should have to do is now pull this up. All I should do is just pull this up, and this should come away. I hope. Look at that. And, oh, so wait a minute. So the front doesn't have a thing. Oh, look at that. Look how easy that is, man, huh? I was thinking this was going to be a blockade. That was mint. So I thought there were bands. Maybe it doesn't have bands? Oh, you know what? Maybe those bands are... You got a longer one in the back, shorter one in the front. Oh, crap. Shorter one in the back, sorry. Shorter one in the back, longer one in the front. That's the way it goes. Okay. See how easy that was, man? Look at that. Look how open it is, man. That is slick. Look at how it's all milled out. It's got even like a drive shaft tunnel, dude. Stinking sweet. Telling you, man, people that are saying negative things towards Hobao. Now, I do wish there was something that was here that would prevent this, though. This always happens here, especially like with my MT2. It got mangled right here because this is kind of like it's an open area, and I wish that there was something that did kind of cover this because it kind of like would make sense. I know that they're trying to like get rid of weight and all that stuff, but yeah, it's not necessary. So, oh, sorry. You know what? Those clamps that I was talking about? So, what those clamps are... So what those clamps are inside. You can see in there. They're inside, and what it does... Yeah, you can't see in that one. In that one, though, I think you can see. You can see what it does. It goes around the front of the cup, not the back. Look how stinking easy that was, man. That was so easy. I love it, dude. 8 screws pops that chunk of just goodness out. You know what's funny is look at that gap. That gap closed. Huh. That gap actually closed. So I wonder if the screws maybe weren't tight enough or something. But the gap that was there, it looks like it closed up. All right, I'm going to get a paper towel. I want to clean off this area. This is something I saw Earl Moorhead do. Keep your area clean. Keep your area clean and free of garbage. I'm going to go ahead and lay out 2 paper towels here. So here's the transmission. Probably would be good again to blow something like this off. Get all the garbage out of there. But I did want to just check this. Yeah. I mean, it's not turning it. It's definitely got some freedom. So, look at that gear right there. Nice metal, healthy Hobao gear. Look at that. They make things pretty dang accessible, man. So I'm going to go ahead and I just want to open up the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop off this back side. This is the side that faces the front of the truck. And that is going to be 2.0. Oh, my fingers are in the way. Dang it. How can I do this? All right, there we go. That's a little bit better. My literal arm is under the thing here. So it's just these two screws here. And that will take off this plate. Need a better way to do this. Slide that off. Look at that piece of aluminum, man. Nice and light. Pretty mint. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. So these 2 screws hang on or hold on this new piece here. Let me see if something feeling loose. Nope. I'm gonna wipe this off. It does have some grit on it. All right, there we go. Oop. Wrong driver guy. I really need my bits. This is driving me nuts. Alright. Get on the other side. I almost wish I made this case in aluminum. Just cause. It just would kind of like up the coolness factor. You know what I'm saying? So these 2 top screws here, these screws, this one and this one, these ones are longer screws. So that holds that plate on. And then we'll go ahead and slide this off. Actually, yeah. Here we go. Oh, check that out. So there isn't going to be grease in this. That's not how this works. These are dry gears. This is like a this is like when you run a pinion and a spur. So we're not going to have grease in there. I feel like a little bit like I kind of should put... Oh. So the diff is leaking. That has got to be... That has got to be that diff leaking. Look at the quality of this thing, man. Definitely going to clean that up. But still, though. Just feeling this in your hand, man. This is a chunk. That's a chunk of meat right there. Oh, I almost want to weigh that thing. Dude, that differential's got some beef to it. Where's my I'm gonna get my scale. What the heck is my scale? I've been moving stuff around. So let's toss this bad boy on the scale. See what we got here. Do you see it like that? Make sure we got nothing interfering with it. Hello. Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm gonna weigh this bad boy. Ready? Oh, crap. I want grams. Okay. I'm gonna tear it. Bam. Oh. Try it again. 110 stinking grams just for the diff, man. But that just feels like, it just feels like a dude. That's like workout stuff right here, man. That thing is mint. It's solid. It's very solid. Like solid meaning good, man. Solid meaning good. I like it. All right. Solid meaning good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull that bad boy apart now. Dude, this just has quality stinking written all over it. The interesting thing will be to figure out where it was leaking from. Just like this. There we go. There we go, guy. That's gonna work. Okay, I just figured it out. The camera's literally right in front of me. Like, obviously, I'm like right here. All right. So, I do, because all the slop was on this side, I am gonna go ahead and go after this. Dude, I feel like I should be wearing, like, gloves, man. I feel like I should be wearing gloves and, like, surgical mask and stuff. Obviously, what I'm doing is I'm using the driver, getting a feel for cracking each one of these. I'm using the, oh, okay, that one was the one that was loose. All right, so that was loose, and that one wasn't. Okay, so we did have one screw that was loose. These are also Hobao bits. This one right here was the loose one. There was the smallest amount of thread lock on it. Now you can see how that one's wet? That's the one that was loose. Okay, so that's an okay thing. So that just means that's where it was escaping from. It's got the gasket on there. Yeah, that fluid's... The fluid's totally fine as far as what's in there for fluid. So, just want to check the, what I call checking the viscosity of the fluid. There's not much, but it is doing its job. I'm trying to figure out what it is. It's pretty thin, man. I do have 500K. Man, I'm running out of fluid here. I do have 500K. Oh, do I? Dude, that looks like it's almost empty. Crap. What should I do? I really want to put the 500 in. I think I actually have some Traxxas stuff somewhere. I got 10K, 50K. Ah, man. I don't think that's gonna work. And why is this stuff bleeding all the time? So because it had nearly nothing in it, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of clean this off. I'm gonna leave that like that. I feel like if I just squeeze this in here and fill it up, that maybe it's going to tighten it up. Yeah, this kind of seems like maybe what was in there. Wow. I'm surprised this bottle doesn't explode with the tension I'm putting on this thing right now. Literally, I'm shaking, crushing this thing. All right, I just want to see what that's like. Go ahead and kind of let it settle down and in a little bit. Maybe give it a little spin. Yeah, that's pretty free. That's still free. I'm going to put the top on and just see what we got. See what it feels like right now. I don't want to get false torque. I don't want to get hydraulic torque, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that out of the holes. The diff fluid actually got in the holes, and because it had nowhere to go, because of its design, it gave a false torque, meaning it basically hydraulically stopped the screws from burying in. I'm going to go ahead and give this a torque down, just to see what it feels like. You can see I let my hand kind of do it light, kind of hold it lightly in place. I'm going to go to the opposite side, do the same thing. See, I just literally just let it spin in my fingers, because I'll do the final torquing by hand. Seeing I did have one screw loose. Okay, good there. What I may end up doing is adding a piece of earplug. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a tweak. Tweak it all the way around. Give this a feel, see what it feels like. Yeah, it's way loose. That didn't do anything to it. So I think it probably does have 50K in it. Damn it. All right. All right. I kind of knew. So what I may end up doing right now is supplementing with a piece of earplug. Ooh. If I do that, if I supplement it with a piece of earplug, what that will do is it'll stiffen it up, I think, enough. It'll give it the lubrication, and it will give it some stiffness, which is kind of what I want. For some reason, for me, I'm not liking the full idea of earplug only. That's just a personal kind of... This is the personal thing of like how I've been like thinking about it. That I'm not really too keen on just the earplug alone, man. Because if you do get a separation, man, jeez, the heat that is going to cause. So, dang. Boy, that really mixed well. Just let some of it drain out and get my earplugs cleaned up so well I don't know where they are. Awesome. Oh, guy, just stop cleaning stuff. I'm going to have to tear this joint apart to find the stupid earplugs, aren't I? What the heck? Alright, I'll be back. I gotta find them. And it actually didn't take that long to find them. What I also noticed is the fluid really settled down a pretty good amount. So, because when you rotate this, look at how much the fluid sucks away. So, I'm going to take an earplug. I'm going to take like that and jam that in there. See how that goes. Don't contaminate these earplugs and then I think you're going to use them in your ears. Okay. We'll see what's going to happen with that. Just jam that in place. Clean it up a little bit. Well, at least it kind of meshed. We do have our washer there. Go ahead and slide that in there. Key it into place. Just feel what this is going to be like. Go nice and easy on this. That stuff just smear out of the hole. I have to make sure. Yeah, that did tighten it, but not for long, man. Look at how free that is again. So, what I think I'm going to do, it definitely feels pretty good though. It does have a good feel. I'm going to go ahead and redo this again. I'm going to toss another piece of earplug in there and let it squeeze out this fluid. Let's see how we're looking. Look at that. See how that did that? What it did is it worked its way to the middle. See what the earplug did? So that's what the earplug did. It literally jammed itself into the middle. So that means it's kind of working. So I'm going to go ahead and take another piece of that earplug, jam it in there. And let it squeeze the diff juice out. Do it again. Here we go. Let's see what that's like. Now let's see what it feels like. Whoa. It's definitely tightened up, but again, I'm going to put another squeeze of it in. So the rest of the air plug that's there, I'll go ahead and put that in. And let it squeeze the fluid out. Just like that. If this doesn't work, I can just take it all apart and start over again. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just an experiment. Seeing what works and what doesn't. So I am going to go ahead and clear off this surface, just so that there's nothing that could be preventing the gasket from doing its job. Man, I don't know. When you get these parts in your hand, I think that's when you'll realize, like what I'm saying, that it just has a feeling of quality. I mean, I could be wrong, man. I could be wrong. Maybe this is all garbage. But I suspect it's not. Line it up. Push it down. So not looking inside of there might not get that false torque thing. Hydraulic torque or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Clean it off. It's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give it a final torque all the way around. Just getting a squeak out of it each time around. You can feel it. Just the tiniest little squeak. Sometimes that one's tight now. That one had a squeak. That one had the minutest squeak. That one had nothing. Okay. All set. We'll be rocking and rolling with this now. Oh my God. It's gonna free up. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, yes. That feels a little bit better. Oh, hell yeah. All right. I think that's where we are on that. I am going to check this side just to see if it needs anything. Give it a little bit of a squeak here. Nothing. 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 And nothing. Okay. Feels stinking great. All right. So I am going to go ahead and clean out the diff juice that ended up being in this side. No grit made it inside, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this out. Okay, so I do feel I'm happy with that. So now I can go ahead and reassemble this. Drop that gear in this side. Oh, make sure I get all the stuff off of there. There you go, man. I should have this as the picture. I'm going to go ahead and drop this back together. Man, when you think about how Hobao made this, man, that's some rotation. That's like a stinking flywheel right there. Look at that. I so want to drop some kind of something in there. I do want to make sure I clean this completely off. I don't want there to be any kind of junk in there when I put this back together. Like I said, I feel like I should be like, I should have my surgical gown on and everything. Yeah, this is just some quality stuff, man, I'm telling you. And that's why there's no grease in that. Doesn't need it. It's just dry gears like a pinion, spur and pinion. All right, so 2 low screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's that one right there. So that's that long screw. So all 4 of these screws are the same style. Now we can go ahead and take this metal plate that they got here, thing of beauty. Just got to make sure that when you put this on, that you're not putting it this way. Because it ain't going to go in. I know what's wrong with it. It ain't got no gas in it. 2 screws there, 1 there, and 1 there. Oh, actually, sorry. I got to put this little cover on. Which then that screws into there. I'll take care of this little top section of the case. Let's give it a tweak check. Feels good. Feels good. Looks good. Case looks good all the way around. Now we can go ahead and take this beautiful piece of aluminum, stick that on, toss it in there, toss another one there, drive home. Definitely would be cool to see this case be somehow in metal. It just, I don't know, it just kind of would like finish off the mintness of how this thing is though. Definitely like the fact that they did this. This is a major thing. You may not think it is though, man, but it is. This is pretty major. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall that transmission inside of the truck. We're going to clean up here. So I'll be right back next time we're back. And the next time I'll be back, the truck is going to be on the bench and we're going to install the transmission with the front and rear drive shaft, or dog bones, whatever you want to call them. They're really kind of drive shafts, but it's just, they're dog bones. So yeah, just going to clean up my mess. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on deck the way we had it. That 50K out of here, or 500K, whatever the heck it was. Get my empty coffee cup. Alright, so we got the truck back on deck. Gonna make sure we put the correct drive shaft with the correct location. The shorter drive shaft is going towards the rear, and the longer drive shaft is going towards the front. I'm gonna go ahead and just get these set in place right now. See that they're in place. Now I'm just gonna take the transmission. We're going to kind of feed the transmission in the way it kind of came out. So it did kind of come out this way. So let's get kind of the dog bones kind of in place. Put that one there. Put that one there. There we go. Look at that. Slides right into place. That's a thing of stink of beauty, man. So there was the slightest little dripping of Loctite on here, and you can see each one of the screws has just the slightest little nudge of Loctite. So that is what I will do, is I'll give it just the slightest little nudge of Loctite, just like that. I'm going to prep each screw that way, just the slightest little scrape of Loctite. Okay, So I'm going to go ahead and just go after whatever screw I can get in right now. I'm going to actually go after the bottom screws first. Just get it just to sink in. I'm going to do this one side here. I'm going to give it a squeeze when I do it. Just like that. Let the driver kind of stop it. Give it a squeeze. Okay. I'm going to go after the other side. Go after the bottom ones first. Not that it matters at this point because everything's lined up. Literally letting the gun do the work. See? Letting the gun literally stop. It's kind of like torquing it. See? Bam. So, I am noticing that alright, so the GoPro battery did die. I think what I was saying is I do notice that the case is open. I actually, realizing how this goes together, I don't think that's going to be a problem. It just kind of bugs me a little bit that there is an opening at the bottom of the case. So that what that does mean is that there is the potential for contaminants being able to get into this case if this is water submerged. So, in order to combat that, what you could always do is go ahead and put a little strip of silicone right on there. I'm noticing, like I said, that my case is slightly open there. It's really not open. There is an overlap, but I can get like my thumbnail in there. Doesn't seem to do anything. I can force it closed if I squeeze on the plastic. So that's a slight little oddity right there. The only way to fix that would potentially be to unscrew this. I could slide a shim in there and shim that case closed. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. I'm going to run it and see if we get any contaminants in there. While I do have this thing upside down, I am going to go ahead and hit these bolts right here. Just make sure they're tight. That's tight. And that's definitely tight. Those ones don't matter really. But I am going to go ahead and give them a quick little squeaker. Nothing. Nothing. Come on. That one is a squeak right there. And that one, the only way I can get to that is through this hole. And that's a nothing. Okay. Anything else here? Just give it a quick little check. Just to make sure. It's all feeling good, man. Yeah, we're all good here. So I'm going to go ahead and just check all of the bolts on the bottom here. Make sure these are all good. Yep. Yep. Yeah, these aren't going anywhere. Yeah, these are fine. I don't even know why I'm checking. I do want to check the back. It does have clay and sand and stuff in the way. Give these couple screws just a little tweak. Nothing. Nothing. Jeez. And one little minor tweak. These ones are probably fine. These ones already did. But I am going to just double check the bottom here. Yep. We're good there. And we're good there. Yep, ain't going nowhere. Yep. All right. So I'm going to give these back screws a quick check, but I am going to take my hammer and smack on this chassis a little bit, see if I can shock some of that clay out of there. So I'll be right back. All right, and a couple of smacks. Got that stuff right out of there. So I'll give it a tweak. Nothing. 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 This truck is really holding together mint. Nothing. A little minor tweak. A little minor tweak. Alright, that's it. Things all back together. Alright, so that's where that's going to end. Opened up the diff. Saw that at the bottom kind of had a hole. Well, not a hole. Kind of had what looked like an opening, but it's ridged. So I think maybe if you submerge it, you might have to drain it. But then again, maybe it's an automatic drain. I don't know. Don't put grease in those gears. It's got an idler gear. It's got a shafted gear that's got the spur on it that connects obviously to the pinion. So it's got that. It's got the idler gear. And then obviously it's got the diff. The diff, man, the diff is quality stuff, man. I just like, when you held it in your hand, man, it was like literally, I just feel like you were gonna work out. You know what I mean? It just had that feeling of quality. So yeah, I'm ready to take this thing out for a rip. That center diff is now hopefully tightened up to the way I like it. It feels really good, man. Yeah, man, I cannot wait for tomorrow. So what are you doing?